Hi friends, once again welcome to the lecture series on the ethical hacking. We are discussing about the topics in the case of second unit. So in the previous lecture we have discussed about the Windows enumeration and network bias enumeration, LDAP and moreover these SNMP. So in this lecture video we will be mainly talking about the Linux environment in combination with the SMTP. That is nothing but the simple mail transfer protocols. Coming to the Linux environment. So Linux environment, from the previous versions of the Linux environment, it will be providing a high security than compared to that of the Windows. But presently the present versions of the Windows is also providing a different type of the best security mechanisms. Whether we are going with the Linux or else Unix operating systems. Okay, so what we are doing here is nothing but step by step, like systematically we will be gathering the required information. Okay, in order to make the required proper authorized security testing process. So it will be mainly helping us, that is nothing but for the ethical hackers, it will be mainly helping us to get the required system configurations, users, services that has been involved with, and moreover, what are the different type of potential security weakness that has been already there, so that those things can be easily identified and we will be having the scope to overcome those things. So the first of all going with the user and moreover account information. So similar to that of the Windows, I mean, more or less I will be making the comparison with the Windows so that you can easily understand. So why? Because most of us will be using the Windows operating systems. So that once we are making the required communication, so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so first of all, whether it is a Windows or else a Linux environment, every operating system will be having a set of users. Defaultly, admin will be having the total privileges. Okay, so we have to check the required what are the user accounts that has been already created apart from those admin privileges or else admin accounts, and what type of privilege that has been given for every individual user. Okay, that particular information has to be gathered from the Linux user account enumeration. Next, we'll be checking about the system and moreover the kernel information. Kernel, you are very much familiar. Whether it is a Windows or else a Linux, every system will be having the kernel. A kernel is a central controlling part of the operating system. Once again repeating, it is a central controlling part of the operating system. So every OS should have the required kernel. So what it will be involved with? The kernel plays a vital role, especially in the case of file management, memory management, everything will be controlled by the kernel. So the kernel information has to be collected, then only we can have the total information about the files, their access privileges, everything. Okay, the kernel, and apart from the kernels, we do have the microkernels also. Every information has to be collected. So we'll be gathering the required information about the operating system, its version, what is the version of kernels, it may be a microkernel, and what are the different type of packets that has been installed in that particular system. Okay, as per the user requirements, everything, not only these things, we will be checking about the applications or also different type of software that has been installed for the user convenience. Every information will be collected. And next it will be checking the services and more of the process. Okay, so in my operating system, once we have been logged in, once we have switch on the required system, and after the network booting, we do have my own system. Okay, by default in the backend we can check different type of process and more services will be automatically in the running state. Okay, na? So at that particular case also we have to check about the background process that has been parallelly working with. Okay, we have to check about the open ports that has been available. Why? Because from these only the attackers will enter into my network or else will enter into my system. So the main purpose is to discover the unnecessary or else vulnerable services. Okay, if suppose we are automatically once we have been switch on. Okay, and by default you can check. Suppose if the Microsoft Teams has been already installed, by default once we are switch on the system, Microsoft Teams will be automatically in the background. It will be in the running state. Okay, so similar to these things, we will be having multiple applications will be automatically run in the backend. So once we are not in need, automatically close that particular applications. Not only providing the security, it will be automatically increase your efficiency of system also. And we have to check about the file systems, and moreover every individual file or also folders permission analysis has to be analyzed. Okay, we are also getting those particular information. Okay, we will be checking about the directories that has been there for every individual directory or also file. What is the different type of permissions that has been given? Okay, especially in the case of sensitive files, how we are going to provide the required security by hiding or also by giving some sort of passwords. Okay, everything will be properly maintained in the case of file system permission analysis. We have to collect those particular information also. And next, finally, we do have the scheduled task and more of the privilege escalation checks. Generally, once whether it is Windows or else any sort of operating system or else Linux also, when we will be having certain high priority tasks. Let me go with a small example. Suppose in your mobiles also, if any update has been available, automatically it will be triggering an alert. Okay, please install that particular updates, or else it will be giving some sort of things. Okay, update can be done after the shutdown, or else after 1 week, after the 3 days. Okay, please don't remind about these particular updates. We'll be getting some sort of information. Okay, we have to regularly review these things. Okay, so the jobs that has been involved with, okay, and the files that has been involved with these jobs, this will be mainly used in order to check the required any sort of misconfigurations. Generally, the old versions of any software, there will be a chance of having the attacks. So that's why only we will be having an information saying that whenever the update has been there, better go with the new versions. Okay, why? Because there is some sort of issue in that existing software. That's why only the developer will be providing some sort of update as a patch. So to provide some sort of security also. Okay, so this is about the different type of things that that has been involved in the case of Linux or else Unix enumeration. Next, going with the NTP. Then NTP, we are very much familiar from the common networks itself. We are studying about the NTP, Network Time Protocol. Okay, now what about this particular network time protocol? It will be mainly providing the required information to check about the network configurations. Okay, what are the different type of services that has been provided by the network? Okay, so then what is the different type of services that will be provided in the network? Suppose, for example, what is a buffer size in my network? Okay, what is a congestion level? What is a threshold limit? What is the access latency? Okay, everything will be simply will be provided. Okay, that particular services will be gone through, and more of the potential system details also. The first of all, why we are going with the NTP? What is the purpose is nothing but in order to have a proper time synchronization between the services, between the server, which is providing the services for me, okay, and more the client. The accurate time interval has to be properly maintained so that we don't have any sort of false informations or else inconsistent informations, especially in the case of logs. Why? Because if any operation that has been performed by the user in my network or in my system, everywhere we will be maintaining that particular information as a log files. If this particular NTP, that is nothing but the network time protocol, is not properly synchronized and not properly maintaining the log information with exact proper time details, okay, even that particular information may not be of use. Okay, and we have to check about the identifying these particular NTP services. Okay, ethical hackers regularly will check about the UDP. Suppose for going with the 123, the particular port number. Suppose if I am going with the POP, that is nothing but the post office protocol. The port number what we are using is 110. So every protocol will be having different type of port numbers. Okay, those particular information and services, servers configurations, everything will be collected. And it will be providing us to extract the information, especially with the what is the version of the server that has been used and the operating system that has been installed in that particular server, and what is a peer count, that is nothing but the number of users that has been connected to that particular server to access the services at that particular instant of time, and the synchronization of time status also. Okay, whether all the peers are properly synchronized to the servers time. Okay, let me go with a small example. Suppose in my network, okay, the server is providing some sort of information. Okay, generally we will not be maintaining a single server to provide more efficiency. I may have the multiple servers. All the servers are maintaining the same information. Suppose we got some sort of update on the data that has been already maintained in the server. Once the data has been updated in one particular server, automatically it has to be reflect in all the servers within minute of seconds itself. The best example is a stock market. Within minute of seconds itself, the stock value is going to update. You may be familiar, it will be of less than 3 seconds itself. Within such a less time, the data is going to update. So, if I am not properly synchronized with the servers, okay, even though we are getting the required data, it will not be of use. We will be having certain situation, especially in the case of real-time applications, where time plays a vital role. Not only these things, we will be checking about the NTP versions, the old versions of the NTP. Just now I had said about the old versions may have the chance of having the vulnerabilities. Okay, those particular versions may providing the scope for the intruders or else attackers to enter into my network by modifying the time. Okay, automatically developing a miscommunication between the clients or else peers and to the server. So we have to automatically and regularly make the required updates on these particular NTP versions. And security risk and moreover mitigation. We have to properly configure this particular NTP so that we'll not be having any sort of miscommunication between the clients and moreover the server. What the attacker, what it will be doing in order to develop a pandemic situation in my network, some sort of confusion between the peers and moreover the servers, they will be using some sort of triggering virus to make the change of time. These particular things may not be known to the genuine legitimate peers or else a server, but the time has been updated. Automatically, there will be a miscommunication between all these systems that has been involved with. So we should be very much cautious about these things. So we have to restrict the NTP access only for the trusted IPs, only to trusted parties. Suppose if I am giving the privileges for everyone, automatically there is a chance we are automatically giving the required information to the attacker. Come on, have an attack. So we have to properly restrict this particular NTP access. We have to disable the unnecessary query modes. We have to keep always the NTP software up to date. Every day we will be getting different type of versions. So we have to continuously make the required updations. And we have to continuously monitor the NTP logs also. Is there any change in the time intervals? Okay, a drastic change in the time. Everything we have to properly cross-check about these things. Next to the NTP enumeration, we do have the SMTP. So the SMTP stands for the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Once again, similar to the SNMP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol also will work at the application layer level. Okay, already we have studied about this SMTP in the computer networks also, 15 application level, layer level protocols. The SMTP, what it will be doing, it will be providing us the services to have the proper mail communication. Previously, we do have the FTP. Okay, so next to the FTP to make the required file communications, we are going with the mail communication, any sort of things, we are going with the SMTP. It also allowing us to transfer any sort of data. Okay, so it may be the video file, it may be the audio file, it may be an image, it may be a doc file, any sort of extension of the files. So what it will be doing, it will be providing the required mail server services. Is any unauthorized mail services has been available? Okay, is the mails that has been received and pumped are genuine or not? Is there any misconfigurations? Okay, everything will be highlighted and exposed to the required users. Okay, it will be mainly identifying the email accounts. Okay, so whether these emails what we are getting, okay, is it genuine or not. Sometimes we will be getting some sort of spam mails also. It will be giving the required an alert, okay, whether it is a spam or not. Okay, so spam mails, how it is going to identify is nothing but generally any sort of mail servers Suppose if the same communication with the same keywords, okay, is repeatedly pumped from the same mail ID, automatically it will be simply triggering an alert. It may be an advertisement. So automatically it will be simply giving an alert from me. Okay, they may be blocking your mail IDs also. You may be coming across these particular situations also. So this is a entire process that has been going on in the backend. Every mail server will be following these particular things. So it will be checking about the mail server configuration, what are the different type of potential weakness that has been already available to eradicate those things. Okay, how we are going to use precautionary measures. It will be identifying the SMTP services also. Okay, different type of services that has been provided with it. So generally we can see here that is nothing but the port number of 465. Okay, it is a port number that will be used for the secured SMTPs. And next, in the case of submissions, we can go with the other port numbers like 487 also. Okay, they may be used in order to make the required proper testing to transfer the required mails. And here also we can see here different type of ports that has been available once we are going with the SMTP. And next, user enumeration via SMTP is also collected. Not only collecting the TCP ports, RLC, any sort of port numbers, mail IDs, server mail configurations, it also collects the information about the user. Okay, regarding to this particular user information, okay, it will be simply following a here you can see the plan any sort of a brute force attacks, any sort of guessing attacks. Okay, we can check the what maybe the password is of. We can have some sort of a guessing attacks. Okay, those particular information has to be properly collected. And next we will be going with the banner grabbing. Here you can see when we are connecting via the SMTP, okay, there will be a chance of having the what I can say, like software types, what is the version that has been involved with. Okay, all this particular information also has to be collected, which will be providing the scope for the ethical hacker to check whether that particular software are up to date, any vulnerable software has been involved with. Okay, is there any other unwanted information has been already involved in that particular software? Everything will be cross-checked. Okay, and finally we will be after collecting the total information. Okay, we are doing the security risks and more of the mitigation process. Okay, it will be simply validating whether the email IDs are proper or not, email services that has been proper or not. Okay, all this all this particular information will be properly collected. Generally, apart from we may be familiar about these Gmail servers or any sort of other mail servers. Excuse me. Apart from that, we do have the Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services also will provide some email service from me. Normal Gmail can transmit only limited number of mails for a single day. More than that, if I am transmitting the information, that particular mails will be going as a spam. So, but in the case of Amazon Web Services, for the simple mail services, SMS, okay, now what it will be doing, it will be providing us the scope to transfer 1 lakh mails per day with a transmission speed of 2 mails per every second. So sometimes you can check the required mail. Okay, I mean, once we are getting the required mail, just to check the required domain mail. Okay, from where I am getting that. So we do have some sort of situations where we are getting the required mails from the Amazon services. So that implies that the sender is using the Amazon Web Services to transmit the mails. They are also using the same SMTP protocol to provide the mail communication. So we have to collect those particular information also. So all this information what we are collecting, whether in the case of Windows operating system, SNMP, okay, NetBAS, RLSI, LDAP, SMTP, everywhere we are collecting different type of information from multiple sources to make the security testing in a proper manner. So these information will plays a vital role. Thank you.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe VNR Digital Learning Resource YouTube channel.